Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today is Michelle Lane-Smithwick. She is a candidate for school board in Clarke County. Tell me that district you're in.
I am in the Buckmarsh district.
Buckmarsh.
Mike.
I was trying to remember. It was some kind of marsh. I didn't know they had marshes in Clarke County, but I guess they do. She is a write-in candidate in Clarke County, which is going to take a little extra work for Michelle, but she's pretty passionate about the school board election. So, yes. Michelle, tell us, why in the world do you want to run for school board?
Well, thank you, Mike. I have decided to jump into the race because I'm a mother, a grandmother. I'm a registered nurse with a background in pediatrics, and we're preparing to get my grandson ready for school in the Clarke County district. And I learned that the children were 1 to 2 years behind in reading last spring, and they were pushed forth into the subsequent grades without any remediation across the board. And that really concerns me as a taxpayer, that children would be allowed to get that far behind. Now, I understand that COVID was a problem. It was a problem for everyone. However, by and large, many jurisdictions got their children caught up in some fashion. Mm-hmm. And I think that we could have done that much better. And when I was looking at the budget to try to figure out, surely there was something written in for remediation. However, the budget was somewhat confusing. They actually do not have line items for their programs.
That's a little strange.
It's very unusual. And I
Sounds like a lot of slush funds.
There were some places it said it was $23 million, some places it said $30 million, and some places it said $33 million. Well, that's a big difference.
Sure.
And I think that that's a problem when things are put into one large pot instead of being broken out, as in governmental agencies, the way they're supposed to be. And then I also realized with comparing my 3 kids, I have 2 boys and a girl, and my daughter is getting ready. She's applying for medical school. She went to Tulane, graduated in 4 years with a molecular biology degree. And
so she passed organic chemistry.
She did. She got an A, in fact.
That's the course they give everyone to weed them out, don't they?
Exactly. And then within a year, she had gotten a neuroscience degree, a master's degree. Wow. She's working as a research assistant down at Tulane's medical school. Right. But neither of my boys wanted to go to college. And one is a veteran. He did 3 tours in Afghanistan as Special Forces. And then my younger son is a father, and he is working in my business, Middleburg Home Care, and raising his son, and he's thinking about becoming a sheriff's deputy.
There you go.
Yeah, so
that's all good work.
Absolutely. So I know that Clarke has the IB Diploma International Baccalaureate, which is amazingly wonderful. But I would really like to see, because we're a small community, that we allow the kids to, instead of taking a course here and a course there at the community college, that they be able to, we pay for them, give them scholarships, and they can go to either Frederick or they can go to Loudoun County and get some of the great trades work and get certified so that they're ready to start working when they graduate.
Yeah, that's a big thing now. I mean, people have finally realized that, whoa, what happened to all our trades? They've disappeared.
Exactly.
And, everyone can't be in the service business or in the IT business.
Yes.
And, our information age, we forgot someone's still got to make things.
Someone has to make things and build things and fix things.
Actually,
Absolutely.
They make more money than about any.
They probably do, because there's so few of them now.
There's so few of them. And so you always hear that, here's my plumber with a high school education making twice the income I get with my master's degree. You know what I mean? So, right.
Yes, sir.
So there's nothing wrong with trades. I mean,
it's great.
It's great, and it's a good work. If they find a passion, something they're passionate about, I say do it.
Yeah. I totally agree.
So, and the schools have a tendency, they're moving that way. Like I know here in Warren County, we have a Blue Ridge Technical Center, and there's a lot of people involved in those type of things. And they have had, some kids just everyone learns a different way.
Sure.
And so we just need to have kind of like a curriculum for individual curriculums, you know what I mean?
I agree. To meet all students, we talk about diversity, but academically, have options for students.
Let's say you're on the school board. What are some of the things that you're really passionate about? Something like the first thing that you really want to keep. You've been watching these school board meetings, I'm sure, and so there's something that sticks out. What's the things that really bother you the most?
Well, there are two things. I will name them, and then I'll go into them a little more specifically. So one issue is what the children are eating. So the students in the Clarke County schools are eating food which is sourced from factory farms. And I think everyone is familiar with factory farm food, that it's full of hormones, it's full of pesticides, which are carcinogenics, and antibiotics, which make it difficult to treat infections. As a nurse, I can speak to...
Your nurse side is coming out here.
Yeah. And, these endocrine disruptors, which are, like hormones really make our systems work. Sure. And, melatonin for sleeping is a hormone. Insulin for digestion, that's a hormone. They're all hormones. So
and some of those things you just can't get from pills. You get them through your food.
Exactly. And then the other thing that I want to speak to is how children are these days not told that they're okay, they're good. Who they are is enough. They're beautiful no matter what they look like. If they have a disability, that we love them.
God doesn't make any junk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And children are being taught very early that they need to be questioning themselves. And that, as a pediatric nurse, I have to say, that is very wrong. And just recently, last Monday, in fact, the Clarke County current school board they set up a memorandum of understanding with a nonprofit, Connectors and Communities in Winchester. I think that's the name. I could be a word or a syllable or two off, but at any rate, according to their website, their calendar is only about LGBTQ, IA plus issues. And the school board and the superintendent has now given them access to the high school and the middle school students with a plan of the elementary schools next year. Now, as a nurse, children who are adolescents are always looking to fit in. And and there's a lot of social media pressure right now for them to question their sexuality and question their gender. And if there is an adult there whose main focus is gender issues and gender theory, and that any child can change their gender, if that's their belief system, it's going to be driven home to the children, the students to whom they're speaking. It just will happen. It can't not. Yeah. As a nurse, when I talk to somebody, I can't help but give them, the medical side to something when they have a question, and I am very concerned. I feel as though parents and Governor Youngkin's executive order has had an end run around them. As a nurse, I've worked as an expert witness in medical malpractice cases on many of pediatric cases. So I can speak to this as a nursing expert witness. There will absolutely be an increase in the amount a number of students who suddenly start questioning their gender if this group is given access to children. And it is always the way that a pediatrician evaluates a child before any medical diagnosis is given and before any psychotherapy treatment, mental health treatments are developed and implemented. Because with children, their behavior is typically, or oftentimes rather, as a result of a physical health-related problem. So pediatricians always rule out medical issues before a mental health diagnosis is assigned. So with this group being there, they are going to go right in with, this child has a mental health problem, this child, since that is their forte, they're going to go for the gender theory
A little
issues.
biased.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're going to have your work cut out for you to do, because that seems to be the focus on a lot of school issues, school boards around the country. So we've heard a lot. Loudoun County next door there have really been. I think they were one that said, "Well, we're not doing what the governor wants us to do." So I think it may not be a quick result, but I think the governor is going to win. And I think that'll happen because typically he has the power of the state.
Absolutely.
And we'll see what happens on all that. And I think it's going to affect school boards throughout our whole state on that.
And also with that, just last week, the Attorney General came out with an opinion that parents can sue school boards and school board members if their child has been infringed upon.
Sure.
And that's probably, unfortunately, where it's going to have to go, because school boards are by and large, in many parts of the state, especially, we know Prince Williams and Fairfax are totally ignoring, which is really unfortunate, because parents, parents had the child or adopted the child, or grandparents are raising the child, and they're the ones who are supposed to be in charge. We shouldn't be co-parenting.
It's funny you say that. I've never met a parent that says it's okay to let the state govern my child, parent my child.
Exactly.
I've never have heard that.
No.
But it seems like that's where everybody thinks it's okay. So we'll see what happens. Good luck on your campaigning, Michelle. I know you're going to be busy. She'll be knocking doors in the Clarke County area. What's the name of that district?
It's called Buckmarsh, and that is
like on the eastern part of Clarke County, correct?
That's correct. It is the eastern part. It's Bluemont, the Shenandoah Retreat, Pine Grove, and then the eastern end of Berryville.
Okay.
Up to
so when you
Wycliffe.
see Michelle walking around knocking on your door, she's not some crazy lady that's out there in the woods. It's a lot of work.
Thank you, Mike.
And we do appreciate everyone that runs for an office. I think we need to get more people doing it instead of having these, I hate to see these ballots with only one name on them. I hate that. And even if you have to write in, I think it's important. So good luck on your campaign.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best. All right.
Thank you. And please remember that I am a write-in candidate. You can go to my website, michelleforschools.com, and I have a copy of the ballot. It has one person, the person who's been in for 5 years and who has overseen this shift towards a liberal agenda. And then it has one spot for write-in, and that is me. I am registered with the Board of Elections, and I ask that you please write in my name, Michelle Lane-Smithwick, and I also have a Facebook and a Twitter page.
Well, we'll put all that information here below, too, so they can get to your website. Thanks again, Michelle. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.